Good afternoon. Welcome to the Rich and Piers show. It's the 28th of January. We're here with IG. We're going to be talking about the Federal Reserve today. That, of course, coming up this evening. We're going to be talking about Microsoft earnings, Meta earnings, Tesla earnings. Yes, it's the official start of earnings season, and G.I. Joe is here with me to talk about it all.
Here today, but yeah, it's all about
What's
decent.
what
The
are
wife,
you wearing?
You're
getting lost in the plant.
The wife gave me this jacket. She said I should wear it on the show. Oh, it's all right. It's a bit hot though. I'm going to give you that.
Had they run out of navy ones?
There he is. It's back. Right. So there's a lot to get through today, mate. I must admit, earnings season is, for me, it's just a headache because it's 10x work and a lot of noise. But having said that, it's quite nice to be able to finally getting some numbers. And so far in Techland, it's been overwhelmingly strong.
Yes.
I mean, last night, Texas Instruments, as I mentioned yesterday, not really an important company anymore. Back in the day, they used to be in terms of moving the tape, but they are a read on the economy, and they smash their numbers. I mean, they're very choppy, but I mean, GDP nowcast is up at what 5.8%, and Texas Instruments is a reflection of that. And then, of course, ASML, who were, they've been roofing it for quite some time now, and their expectations were sky high, and they smashed them.
We could go back. This is now up 100% in 6 months.
A wonderful example. I think we were talking about this on the show when this and Google and Apple, I think at the time, they were all three mega caps were in the doldrums. I had clients saying to me, is it over for ASML? Is this it? Finally, the Chinese competition is going to get them. Is it too lumpy? Are they done? And the CEO was giving us the most conservative guidance you could ever come across. And here we are.
It was bizarre guidance from him back in.
Well, he's Dutch. He's very conservative, right? That's what he does. And you know what? It's smart because it lowers the expectations, and then they beat them. And the market, nothing does the market love more than that, right? Yeah. And what's amazing is the expectations by the market, not necessarily even the CEO, were so high going into last night, and they smashed them. One analyst was like, "Well, there we have it. I mean, what else is there to say?"
Right,
just like wow, there's nothing more to be said. And if you listen to what TSMC's been saying, obviously they're the major read on ASML. It's not a massive surprise, but nonetheless, I suppose it is a little bit of a surprise to everyone, including the market, that how far they beat by. And then, of course, you've got Seagate that we spoke about yesterday, who are the first cab off the rank in the memory space to show us whether or not this ridiculous rally or not ridiculous rally we've seen in memory is justified, and they smashed it.
Yeah.
And that reads into the whole Amazon. Into the hyperscaler story as well in terms of the build out. So it's so far healthy AI capex read is the bottom line,
and nothing negative to take from it. So we've seen the Nasdaq push on. Nasdaq, of course, helped by Nvidia.
Yeah.
Nvidia, or at least China. The chance of 400,000 of the H200 chips being allowed into China. That's now been passed by the government. It's a significant number when you look at the actual quarterly earnings.
It is, although I would say that the Chinese story around this, the back and forth, is very, very noisy, and ultimately, I don't think it's got too much impact one way or another. I mean, the market kind of just has been looking through it because it's been so back and forth. But at the moment, it's not really about Nvidia at the moment, though. It's about there's other things going on. The market shifts its attention to memory.
Yeah.
One analyst the other day said Micron is Nvidia on steroids in 2023.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not about Nvidia anymore. It's you can keep buying Nvidia if you want, but it's not about them right now. But it'll be interesting to see what they say in the capex department. Because they used to be a pure beneficiary, like Lam Research, like ASML, and now they're a massive spender as well.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. We'll see how they go.
But this will move tonight on the back of Meta comments on capex, won't it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the entire capex beneficiary supply chain will move tonight. The two biggest spenders are talking tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they've got to say.
So this is real market moving stuff.
Yeah, we're finally there.
9:15 and 9.
I mean, even ASML. I mean, listen, ASML don't normally move the tape.
Let's just stick on an Nvidia chart for a second, because that's a significant news story that's come out overnight. The stock's jumped, and we're right at that cusp of a breakout that we've been around for about 6 weeks now. is it going to break through, or are people going to wait tonight? Do you need positive commentary to come out of Meta, Microsoft tonight for this to break?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, listen, I don't think there's going to be any breakouts before we get to the numbers tonight. I mean, the Nasdaq already broke through that level that we talked about yesterday by 93 basis points or whatever it was yesterday. Another 93. I think it's almost exactly the same last time I checked, pre-market. So, but there's not going to be any further upward momentum until we see what happens tonight. But as we were saying, the bases are loaded for the Nasdaq to go higher, right? But we'll see what they say tonight. So far, it's been a pretty powerful start to the tech earnings season.
Yeah,
very powerful actually.
Thankfully, managed to get that call option on last night. So remember, we were talking about this yesterday. The 26,100 calls I bought, just a little nibble, $5 a point, and we sold the 26,350. So only looking for 1% additional, not knowing that it would already have jumped by the before we even hear from the big players today. But as you can see, just nice little $150 there, helping us with the Micron, because the Micron trading up to 431 at one point, Piers.
I mean, it's gone parabolic, it's gone meme, and you know there's a fundamental reason for the additional move today, of course, on the back of Seagate and Hynix in Asia, but it's fading a bit pre-market. Listen, this stock is struck. It's got to the point now where we all know that there's a very, very powerful fundamental story here, and a positioning story, and a momentum story, and a retail story, and an everything story. But what I find interesting about it is the analysts, given any opportunity, will always climb on top of each other to try and be more bullish and more bullish and more bullish. And they've done that a few times now, and the most they can come up with is 354. And we're trading at 420 pre-market or whatever it is. So unless they just come out, before, obviously Micron don't report until later on, but yeah, no doubt the numbers are going to be good, but it's just like, what numbers are we putting in here? And when are we going to start penciling in the production increase and the DRAM fall, which is, unfortunately for these guys, it's the same as iron ore or copper or silver. It's a commodity. DRAM is a commodity, and it has been for 20 years now. And I can't see a way around it. I was talking to a client about this the other day, and he was just like, yeah, I mean, listen, we missed it, but it's cyclical. So, I'm just waiting for it to get hammered.
And it's the point, you're never going to get a Rio Tinto or a Glencore trading on 20 times earnings. Right?
There's a discount, exactly, because they're cyclical. That's a very good point.
Just explain to everybody what cyclical means. Why do you get depressed earnings multiples near to the top of the cycle when a stock is cyclical like that?
Yeah, well, first of all, the discount that's applied, as you just pointed out, to the miners and to anything else that's cyclical, so banks, and obviously these DRAM in particular, is because they go in cycles. And it doesn't necessarily mean to traditionally, the word cyclical means an economic cycle. And obviously, I think the banks are probably most perfectly aligned with that, with the miners. But DRAM lives in its own cycle, which actually is sometimes completely uncorrelated to the economic cycle. But it is a cycle within itself.
And basically, you can just build more, and the supply comes on. When the economy slows down or demand slows down, that means the market's oversupplied and prices plummet, which means your profits plummet.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about this, and this definitely is worth considering, and this is what all the analysts are saying, and this everyone's getting so excited about, is that before AI came along, the demand side of the equation for DRAM was relatively monotonous and relatively predictable. Now we have this huge elephant in the room who's come in with and this is why Micron has been re-rated so aggressively. They, for the first time, have got consistent top-line growth, apparently. And the question is, how long for? And if you listen to Jensen Huang and you listen to all the read-throughs, there's years, 2, 3, at least years of significant growth and demand for DRAM. The only remaining question is, how quickly can these guys ramp up production?
Yeah.
And how much are they going to finesse that situation? Because Micron are enjoying their first ever moment in the sunshine, right? Normally Micron go up and then they go down.
Yeah.
So no doubt they are enjoying this moment. Listen, it's without doubt, this is a huge moment for Micron. And I was talking to clients about it well before it happened, and I completely traded it like an idiot and didn't make much money out of it. A little bit, not much, and now I'm losing money being short. But I appreciate what's going on here. And listen, 8 times forward earnings for a company that's rallied this much you won't find that anywhere else. But you have to ask yourself, why is the market the market is actually weirdly rational? Why is the market only applying an 8 times forward multiple to Micron when it's willing to do 3 or 4 times that for some of the other AI names? And the answer to that question is because the real money, the professional money, knows that this is a cyclical stock.
Exactly.
And it might get re-rated higher, but we'll see.
It's the same. So Jeremy Grantham was on great podcast, well worth watching, Compounded Friends with Josh Brown, Downtown Josh Brown. And they said
CNBC Josh Brown.
CNBC Josh Brown.
He's a classic, that guy.
Yeah, he's great. And they said, look, NVIDIA, it's only on 24 times earnings. So where's the bubble? He said, well, the bubble's not on the earnings multiple, you idiot.
Yeah.
It's in the earnings to start with
Yeah,
because of this huge CapEx boom that not a single customer is actually making any money from what NVIDIA have sold them yet.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So you'll get a fall off in that CapEx. Therefore, it's not 24 times a real number. We're saying exactly the same thing. Micron's not 8 times a real number because it is...
And that's what's really interesting. I think that's the thing that we really just need to focus on from like an educational perspective, because what's going on in the market is what's going on in the market. But if you take a step back and look at these different growth themes, the very nature of what we're seeing now is a capex boom, and it's a once in a lifetime situation, particularly with AI. We saw it. So the software as a service boom was a different thing because there wasn't physical capex. This is physical capex, which is being spent very obviously. The picks and shovels, the ASMLs of this world are the cleanest way to play it, right? Lam Research, because they're not spending the capex, they're receiving the capex. Yeah. But by very definition, it's just a matter of how long are they going to be spending this capex for, and then when it gets to the end of it, what happens then?
Yeah,
and we all know what happens then. So, like, when do we start pricing that in? And that's the $1 million question, I guess.
Well, if we want to just take a look at the chart there, we'll see. Oh no, sorry, that's a picture of Piers.
What the hell is that, mate?
Go on to.
My day couldn't get any worse, mate.
That's you getting ready against the anti-disestablishmentarianism.
I love that word.
What
exactly is that?
Great word.
What's going on?
Well, that's what the fans think you are.
Oh, sorry, there we go. Gotcha.
Jeez,
okay. It's been a long night, guys.
Wow, okay. They haven't got the hair right, that's the thing.
No. So
yeah, thank you, one of the viewers, for sending that in. But yeah, let's just quickly go through what else we've got. PayPal, still a piece of shit.
do you know what? I'm in emotionless cutting mode. I cut PayPal. I've had enough of it. I'll get back to it as and when they do something interesting.
Okay, but that is an important thing because you've had a tough week, right?
2 weeks.
And you're taking really difficult decisions to take the risk down.
Yeah, I've cut the book from 13 positions down to 5, and just brought the risk right down because it's been a tough time. The markets can be very humbling, as you all know. You've managed risk for many years. Multiple different things have happened, but risk down, high beta nonsense out. And today, even like Intel has helped me out a lot today. Focus today will be on Micron, of course, which is only got $800,000, but that's at least that's exhausted.
But it's getting rid of the positions that can continue to hurt you, right?
Anything that I feel that's potentially going to hurt me, gone. Yeah, because I can't afford to we're at a moment now.
This isn't a game about rolling the dice or doubling up or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's you've got to conserve the capital. So, and that's how you be there for the long run. There's nothing worse than blowing your account, blowing through your capital, and then real struggle to rebuild from there. Much better take the risk down and rebuild. So, speaking of which, where are we on the portfolio? We, of course, have got 100,000 in there. That's what we started with. We're down 800 and, well, say 900 quid. That means we're still at the down 1%. We're where we were yesterday, which is incredible considering that Micron's at 422. We got done on the stock at 411 and then sold more this morning at 425. So now we've got a reasonable position in there. Now we're 75 shares short. That's $31,000. We're down $600 in it. So we got to, be careful of that one. Silver, who knows? Is it behaving itself? Is it not? It's up around about, is it 2%? 1.3%. So that's great because remember, we're short options as well. We're short volatility, and volatility is pricing in about a 7% move per day, every single day at the moment. So a 1.3% move, that means the vol comes down and you receive money to pay for those losses. That's why we've managed to keep the P&L almost flat overnight. I'm also long some NASDAQ 100 as a hedge against Micron. We're up 130 quid in that. And as I said, we've got the options positions in those calls for the NASDAQ as well. Big night tonight, though. First of all, the Fed. Let's look at the Federal.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we almost forget we've got the Fed tonight. I mean, sometimes it's more important than others. I mean, I'm not quite sure whether today's going to be that interesting, to be honest with you. I mean, what are they going to say? Inflation is... The narrative is that inflation risk is to the upside. But the evidence in the numbers continues to be relatively benign. I don't know. I don't know whether it's hard to know what. Usually, I've got a very strong sort of feeling as to what's important, what he could say, what the market's going to think of this and that. But today is kind of almost just middle of the road. I'm not quite sure where the market is. So the earnings will probably be more important.
Let's look at the preview then. So obviously no change. 3.5 to 375. Unanimous on that. 58% of economists see rates on hold through the quarter. So you're not getting anything until June. Markets pricing in 45 bips a cut by year end. But as Piers said, the inflation outlook is sticky but not accelerating. So we're happy with that. Labour market is cooling, not collapsing. Happy with that. Some would call it Goldilocks at the moment.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah.
That's why you don't need any cuts. Talking about Goldilocks, somebody not feeling well at home, wishing them a very speedy recovery. And Goldilocks.
Oh yeah.
So the meeting's likely to be very uneventful, right? So an uneventful meeting tonight at 7 p.m, especially 7:30. Back up, please, guys. You get minor statement tweaks, right? Nothing really to look forward to there to move the market. And then we get on to what Powell might actually say. So what are the key risks in the press conference then? Is he going to describe inflation as being persistent? Right, that could be a worry. Tightness in the labour market, that's going to be something that we're watching. And then, of course, about Fed independence. Now, you don't think he'll mention that, do you?
Well, listen, the guy is an absolute professional, and he's got a lot of fight in him, but he doesn't ever go off piste in terms of what he should and shouldn't be saying in a Fed press conference. So, I'd be very surprised if he brings any form of politics, and that classifies as politics, into it. I'd be very surprised if he said anything about that. No doubt he'll get asked about it, but
they'll be pushing him. But interesting, the market's starting to price in Rick Reader from BlackRock.
Oh, he's brilliant, that guy.
Yeah, that would be a big positive.
He's that guy. And also, what I find fascinating about that guy is that if he is actually appointed the Fed chair, that guy is about as smart and rational, solid human being that I can see in the game.
And him
There's
and
no
Bessent
way on
together.
earth that he's going to do what Trump says and cut interest rates unless it's the right thing to be doing.
Yeah.
In fact, none of them will. But I love the fact that I'd love it if that guy is a legend. Very smart guy.
So if you've got Rick Reader and Bessent as a team in the Treasury and Fed, it's about as strong as you can get.
Yeah, that's a strong team. And do you know what I find frustrating about it is that those who don't understand economics and are just clouded by political judgment, it's just that those guys are just so good. They're the guys that you want there doing those jobs.
Yeah.
Very smart, very rational, very experienced guys who literally understand that job inside out.
And I mean, we could get an announcement on that at any point, right?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, we're coming down to the wire now, aren't we?
Right, so the Fed, the path ahead, what we're expecting so far, a hold through Q1, cuts later in 26, as we said, hikes very unlikely, obviously, and the easing cycle expected to be gradual. That will be the message, gradual, before he rides off into the sunset.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he doesn't like rocking the boat, and I doubt he's going to rock the boat in his last meeting, especially when he doesn't need to, right?
Yeah.
I think it'll be balanced, and there's every chance that it'll be a complete non-event. And then we focus, and that's at 7 o'clock, by the way, so that's before the market closes, so then we can get that over and done with, and then deal with with what's going to probably actually move the market.
Yeah. I think Meta comes out straight away, doesn't it?
So Meta and what have we got tonight? Microsoft. Both of those come out within the first 5 minutes. The only one that doesn't come out, the only two, is Nvidia comes out at 20 past, and Apple come out at half past.
Right.
Don't know why, but no one knows.
Is it even worth speaking about Tesla? Do any of you care about Tesla? We questioned you on Bitcoin yesterday, which was an overwhelming, I don't care, I don't want to speak about it, which actually made me think last night. On the tube, on the way home, I thought last night, shit, is that actually a massive buy signal? For Bitcoin, that 60% of our viewers...
I mean, listen, I don't know the answer to that question.
It's you'd rather that than 95% of them say that it's going to 200,000.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know whether the poll of those guys. I mean, they're a bunch of quite smart crew. But the point being is that, like, I don't know the answer to the question. Pass on to someone who thinks that they know where it should be trading. I don't know. Right.
So let's look at the same. We're going to ask you about Tesla.
Oh, so yeah, Tesla. That's the other one. The thing about Tesla is that like, what's the point in talking about it? Because it trades off robotics in the future. So, like, what's the conversation?
Well, will he discuss that? Will he give us a new release or something?
He's told us the other day at Dove with Larry Fink. He sat there on the stage and said that there'll be more robots than human beings in the next 10 years. We all know what he's saying, and that's fine. But all I'm saying is that I can't add any value on the stock at all because I don't know what's going to happen.
On this one, or
on Tesla, it's got nothing to do with their cars. We all know that. So it's to do with how many robo-taxis and how many humanoid robots that they sell or don't sell.
Are you suggesting that it probably has a 2-3% move? That's it, because there's not much to come out.
I mean,
it's not a 10, is it?
This one's not a 10. The basis it's kind of neutral, yeah. I mean, maybe 5. 5 probably got the... And I have no idea what's going to happen. Anything could happen. They could say that they've got the worst car sales in history and the stock could go up 10%. That's why it's impossible to talk about this stock.
So, there's the question that we're going to ask that producer Phil's going to pop in there. Do you think Tesla will go higher, lower, or you don't care? And don't care will be saying, look, I'm just not interested in this stock anymore. I've moved on. I'm looking at others. Whereas, of course, this was the darling of the market at one point, especially the retail market.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, it's still got the cult following, and it's still got the the underlying bid, and but it does live in a different universe. And I came to the conclusion many years ago that I don't. If you want to, you don't trade Tesla, you own Tesla, or you don't own it. You don't short it. You either put it away in an ISA and don't touch it and don't worry about the volatility, or I definitely wouldn't recommend ever shorting it. That never works out very well. Or you don't do anything.
There's Rocky in the chat. Rocky is talking my language. The gains in silver are about to rotate into Bitcoin soon. That's exactly what I think. All that momentum in silver. People are going to take their money and they're going to go back to what they know and love, which some of will be Bitcoin, I think.
It is interesting if you think about the size of the retail support and following for Bitcoin and how even they can get emotional and switch their focus to other things. But whoever made that comment is quite right. These things don't last forever, and when people change their attention. You'll look back at silver. I'm not saying that silver might not end up a lot higher in 10 years' time. I have no idea. But in the next year, you'll look back on silver and you'll realize that the attention has completely shifted somewhere else.
I'll give you an indication, and I won't give any numbers because I'm not allowed to. But we are currently seeing one of IG's best ever trades in percentage gains.
Oh, that bloke with the
on silver.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yes, the numbers that we're talking of the gains are astronomical, and fair play, 40 times his money. of the original deposit, but done in a fashion that is just absolutely incredible. So, that gives you an idea of the magnitude of the move that we've seen in silver. We are currently seeing one of the largest ever gains on the IG platform. They've been around for 50 years, right? 50 years of trading, and this is something that nobody out there has ever seen before.
It's impressive, mate.
Very
Sorry,
impressive.
I wasn't going to mention the numbers. We're not allowed to do that, but I remember you telling me the story, and I just think that's, listen, hats off to whoever that person is. It requires commitment. It requires balls of steel. It's impressive trading. Doesn't matter what you think about silver. Like, trading's trading, and you're holding on to your risk and holding on to your P&L and not losing your nerve. That's a skill which the best traders in the world possess.
Shall we take a look at silver? What would you like to look at?
Yeah, so, I mean, what's this question on?
Right.
There's a lot of questions on nuclear. Maybe I should just quickly just summarize the thoughts there.
Right.
And listen, this is a really interesting subject, and there's a couple of companies that are coming to market soon. One is called Deep Fission, and one is called Deep Isolation, both of whom have crossover management boards. Ed Eisler, who was the founder of Eisler Capital, he wound that down the other day. Very smart, big hitter. Loads of big guys are involved in these stocks. They're going to come to market April, May, and then be part of the OKLO small modular reactor. But what these guys do are really interesting. They put these small modular reactors deep underground, and one of them is involved in nuclear waste disposal. But the point of the story is that Trump's doing Independence Day on July 4th, but he's going to also call it your Energy Independence Day, and he's a massive supporter of nuclear for obvious reasons, so the whole space is very interesting. I mean, OKLO,
that's a beautiful chart, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So that's uranium though.
That's the uranium miners.
Well, of course, which is but I mean, listen.
Is it? Or sorry, no, Global X Uranium ETF.
ETF, yeah. I mean, this trade's been going on for a long time now, right? I mean, it's been going on for 3 years. It's been a really good one, as the world has woken up to the fact that nuclear power is not only clean, but it's also now much safer than it used to be, and it's kind of the go-to thing. So the demand for this stuff is off the charts for obvious reasons with the AI power demand, and there's lots of new sort of players coming to town. There's going to be a couple of IPOs, as I just mentioned. The only problem is that I've had a tough time. I like OKLO, and I've been trying to trade it, and it's you're dealing with companies that are still very early on and so they're very volatile. So you've got to be a bit careful with them.
But this is the uranium miners, sorry.
Yeah.
And see, I like that more than silver, because this has got real fundamentals.
Yeah, no, this
behind
is a real. I mean, silver. I don't think you can compare the two, quite frankly. Listen, silver fundamentals are quite good, but they're not that good. This is a more of a rational, proper trade, almost like copper in a way, actually. But the only thing about uranium is that there's nothing new about this, right? All the top professional fund managers in the world have been long this trade for like 4 years now, and that doesn't mean it can't continue higher. But that's copper miners.
That's copper miners, yeah. What a space to be in. Forget tech. Tech's done.
Well, that's the thing, right? Miners are 100% better than tech stocks right now. They're perfect charts. And
that's this has gone 50% in 2.5 months.
Yeah, it's insane what's going on in these mining stocks, mate.
Wow.
I just wish it's weird actually, because I started my career as a mining specialist, and I took my, I know all the companies, but I'm not focused on it enough. And I wish I was.
It's
you
lucky
can't be focused on everything, though.
Isn't it lucky you've been a specialist in everything for at least a year, so you can talk about it all?
There he is.
So we ready for Diageo and Novo Nordisk, or what are we going to talk about next?
Talk about that? I mean, Diageo's just it's up a little bit today, bobbing around the bottom. Listen, the drinks and the whole the news flow in this space is awful, but there's nothing new to say about this stock, mate. We're just waiting for the kitchen sink or the asset sales and whatever. It's just a bit painful. I cut it in half, so I'm just kind of sitting on it. We'll see how we go.
Right, we have about 20 seconds to go until the open. What are you watching, Piers Buckworth?
Right, so obviously I'm watching to see how Micron's going to trade today, which
currently
is
up 3.
That's okay. Intel, I cut half of my long. I'm going to keep half. Pan American Silver I am shorting that again today. It's been in and out. Shorted some pre-market. I'll wait on the second clip until afterwards. That seems to be taking another. Here we go.
Right, let's have a look at how these stocks are moving then. 6% is the Intel move, 46.70. Micron,
Wow, look at
dropping
that
back.
move for Intel. Sweet.
Micron sold from the off. It traded 430 just 3 hours ago. Now it's at 418. Look at that. I'm actually going to close some of the ones I sold earlier. Excuse me while I do that.
Oh, look at that.
Micron stock that we sold at 425. We're going to take that one off. So only short 50 again there. Right, on second highest mover then is Broadcom. Broadcom up 1.7.
Beautiful open. Do you know, it's the first time in a while I've been singing in the open in this show, and I've had a fantastic open. Intel up 7.5, Micron up 1. Perfect.
Thou speak too sooneth.
Indeed. Right, what else have we got? I mean, listen, it's all about Intel, isn't it?
AMD up 1.4 to 255. We're still short the calls on that one, but the calls run out in 4 to 8 hours. So you can almost take a 1.3%. That's fine. What else have we got? We've got Exxon up. We've got United Airlines. That's not two big moves, though. So what have we got on the downside, Piers?
What have we got on the downside? Here we go.
Yeah.
So healthcare has obviously come off the boil a bit after a massive rally. That IBB ETF we showed you guys over the last couple of months, cooling down a bit as the sort of the focus has been more on the miners, or got a bit overbought. Palantir is just amazing. What frustrates me is that I gave up shorting this, and of course, the second I give up shorting it, there's no bid. There hasn't been a bid for 3 weeks in this stock.
Well, that's exactly what is going to happen to silver.
Yeah, that's exactly. Everyone who's watching this show, do you remember when Palantir could not possibly find a seller anywhere?
180, 190, 195.
Find a buyer anywhere now.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen.
The crowd moves on to the next sparkly thing.
Exactly. So yeah, listen, it's. I just need to quickly check some of these prices.
Right, let us know what you're looking at then. Put in the chat, what are you looking at? And we shall get the chart up and have a look at it for you.
For God's sake. So,
Talk to Plug Power, what are you talking about?
Plug Power, I mean, listen, I had to cut a whole bunch of risk in these high beta stocks that I've got. One is Illumina, one is Plug Power, one is OKLO. And of course, the second I cut them, but that's just the name of the game, we're all ripped back again. Small caps have found their bid. But listen, I'm leaving the small caps alone for the minute. I've got some other things to focus on. I'm going to save, I'm going to wait another 10, 15 minutes to see what happens to Pan American Silver before I sell that second clip. Oracle is tempting, but I'm quite frankly, you know.
Oh, yeah, where's Oracle?
Having to cut a stock that's not acting right 5 times and then buying it back again is kind of not, it's hard to have.
Intel now up 9.
There we go.
Carries on.
Look at that. Look at that. I might actually just take my profit in that, just for the time being. That's incredible.
Is that happening?
I am going to take my profit in Intel because I am in.
You've got to take the good things
I'm
when
in
they
profit
come.
mode. Right, so I'm selling the rest of my Intel here. There we go.
Right, you can see why I covered that Micron straight away there, because boom, up it goes, 1.5%. It just cannot stop itself. Back from 418, back now up to 425.5. Nvidia's up there, 191. What do you think on Nvidia? Let us know in the comments. Is that a buy overnight? The fact that 400,000 chips are going to be on their way to China. That's a big number if you're selling them at 25,000 a piece. 400,000 times 25 grand?
Nice.
What would that be? So come on, where's your math?
Sorry, mate. I've just got to report this. Give me 1 sec.
6 billion?
That's a big number, yeah. Hold on 2 secs, yeah. Sorry, I've just sold my Intel for 47,008.
400,000 times 25. Tell us what that is. Is that 10 billion? Could well be. Right. AMD struggling, only up 1 now, struggling to keep up with it. Of course, it shouldn't be moving on the back of NVIDIA's movement up. But yes, all of the Apex crew involved in Intel by the looks of it as well.
Yeah, nice one, crew.
Jacob saying loves NVIDIA's long-term hold. Josh, NVIDIA is and always will be a buy long-term.
I love that. I love that. I love the way nothing can
Always
ever
will
go
be.
wrong. Always will be. Such bullish stuff, isn't it? Illuma, look at that. God almighty, that stock's brilliant.
But, right. So we're getting a little bit more selling now coming in. So Boeing down 2, Eli Lilly down 2, General Motors down 1.7, and Palantir, there it goes, continuing lower.
So tempted to short that again, but I'm not going to. No, it's not happening. It's not happening, matey.
Right, let's have a look at everything else then. The big moves in the macro world. We are getting, S&P 500 struggling at the 7,000 level. It tried to go through there in the futures earlier. I got a big bet on with Elliot Harris on the options desk here. I have to treat him to dinner if the S&P went through 7,000. We struck that when it was trading at 6,500. I said it would trade 6,000 before 7,000. I now have to take him to some swanky dinner somewhere in London if this thing trades above 7,000. We've got FTSE. Now, FTSE was certainly an obvious sell last night. Get it back up. FTSE 100 was an obvious sell because you had Trump talking about not caring about the dollar once again. So you had GBP go up through 138. That is negative for the FTSE 100. So FTSE 100 was trading at 10,200 yesterday. Just an easy 25 points lower today, not having a big move. Oil on the march.
Is it
$63.
Yeah, that's a tough one, isn't it? You know, good old oil. And what's going on with this thing? Some of these small caps are just so funny. It's impossible.
Go on, speak your mind then.
Yeah. So no, I'm just looking at the small caps I was mentioning before. So yeah, I mean, listen, oil's a tough one, man. It always is. I kind of gave up trying to trade this a long time ago.
Yeah.
So many moving parts. I mean, we hear about Trump's armada moving into off the coast of Iran.
Heard it here first last week.
What is that? Yeah. I mean, listen, I kind of hope that. Well, no, I don't hope, actually. But if we see an oil spike due to a flare-up in Iran, that'll be the greatest short because there's just too much supply out there, and I just find it difficult to get a proper grip on where oil is going, if I'm honest with you, mate.
Yeah. Bitcoin back to 90,000. So it was 88,000 yesterday, up to 90 today. That's up 1%. Copper struggling at the £6 a pound level. God, could make that any more complicated.
Tricky one.
$6 a pound. Pound being the weight.
Look at Intel. Bloody hell. Sold that too early, of course.
And then we.
Oh, that's right. United Health. That's the one.
How's that?
Might have to buy a clip of this. I'm a bit annoyed I didn't do it pre-market when it was red. God damn it.
It was down again.
I'm going to buy one clip of United Health. 1,000 shares.
Right. So UNH. What did it finish down yesterday in the end?
Minus 19.67%.
Wow.
Buying 1,000 United Health. Just a small clip.
I cannot believe that United Health move. That's quite.
It's quite extraordinary. I mean, listen, I was looking at the analyst comment on this, and some of these analysts were like cutting their price target to 410. And hang on a sec. Bearing in mind they've got every opportunity to say something really aggressive, and they cut it to 410. It's trading at 288. So I think it'd be fair to say that it's oversold. I mean, as much as I don't like managed care, I think it's oversold.
Yeah. Yeah. Thoughts on NVTS? Is that Novartis?
Which one?
NVTS.
NVTS is not Novartis. NVTS
Navitas.
is Navitas Semiconductor. There's quite an off-piece semiconductor, this one, and it's obviously ripping. Do they have their numbers? Just trying to.
Let's see. Corporation to report.
Yeah, this is an analog name. This is an off-piece name that, quite frankly, I pretty much know every semiconductor in the world. This is one I don't follow very closely. I haven't looked at the numbers, so I'm not going to pretend to tell you why that's moving today.
Good stuff. Right, we'll take a very quick 2 minutes break and we'll be back for another 20 minutes of G.I. Joe and myself going through the war of attrition that is trying to make money in this market. We'll see you in 2. We are back, so we're going to have a look at what you thought on Tesla in the poll results. Producer Phil just going to finish that poll there, and then we're going to get another one up.
Can I just answer a question that was on the screen?
What, in the middle of me giving the poll results?
Afterwards.
What am I meant to do? Thoughts on Tesla earnings? Don't know, don't care. 45% of you. 22% think it's going higher. So we got 83 votes. Thank you very much for interest in 83 people. That's our highest number of votes. So you are interested in telling us that you don't care, which is especially interesting and tells me some people have been hurt in Tesla in the past. Right, so the next one is, where is the S&P 500 going to finish today after the Fed announcement? So what are we going to do? Are we going to, we've just seen Truth Social, the S&P just hit 7,000 for the first time ever. That means that I'm going to have to, that's going to cost me about 400 quid, isn't it?
Is it?
Swanky dinner. Elliot, well done. Well done, Elliot Harris. And also a big shout out to a friend of mine in the future, Pete, who has ruptured his bicep. Is that something you've ever managed to do?
Never done that.
The gym?
No, never done that. Never done that. Luckily.
Yeah. Ouch, rupturing the bicep.
I should have taken my opportunity to.
So he's got an operation next Tuesday. Wishing him well for that, and I'm sure his family will be around him supporting for that. You can't do much with a ruptured bicep. You can't drive for a long time after
Sounds painful, mate.
Right, so the poll is, where is the S&P 500 going to finish tonight? Is it going to be sub 6950? Is it going to be exactly where it is right now, which is at the 7,000 level? Is it going to be 7,020, or is it going to be above 7,050? Whatever your results are, we're going to put on an options trade to reflect it, right? So please vote in this, because it's going to determine whether we make some money back in this portfolio or not. So Producer Phil's going to get that up. In the meantime, what's your thoughts? Where do you think the S&P is going to finish tonight?
Tonight?
9 p.m. It's a 9 p.m., not after the results come out.
Sorry, before the results. Where are we trading? Can you show me a chart, please?
Of where it is?
Yeah.
Let's do that. If you say, sir.
Please.
Please, sir. Right, here we go. There's the... what kind of timeline would you want? There you go. So that is going back about 3 weeks.
Listen, I don't think it's going to move at all. I think it might. I mean, we had a strong open, and it'll probably just sort of knock around and maybe have a little fade, a little wobble into the close. If I'm honest with you, I just don't think it's a particularly relevant thing to be trying to predict. I have no idea.
Well, it is, because we're going to put an options trade on, and therefore we can make money from it not moving from here.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, listen. How many basis points is that up right now? 28.
Yeah, 28 basis points, or 20 points in layman's terms.
I mean, listen, I don't think it's going to be moving very much, mate. It's the market is well and truly aware of that. We have two market-moving companies reporting after market. So, if you're a futures trader, if you're an index player, you're not going to be taking too much risk.
Yep. Okay, well, let's see.
Shop around is my answer.
Let's see what the poll results think, because you never know a headline from the Orange Man or what could be happening next. So, of the stocks that are reporting tonight, which one would you rather be long of? What would you feel comfortable in?
Between Microsoft and Meta?
Yeah, and Tesla, but we don't care.
No comment on Tesla, but I think if I had to choose between the two, I would choose Meta, because they had a shocker conference call last quarter.
Yeah.
And they've spent 3 months in the doldrums to a degree. The standout in Mag 7 in terms of the ones that have been properly hammered. The reasons for that being the market has a lot of muscle memory back to 2022, where they got properly hammered because of the capex, and the market kind of was like, Zuckerberg has a tendency to sort of start doing a scattergun approach of capex, like what's your strategy? You know, he changed the name of the company, or sometimes the market's like, what are you doing? You just
knocks him back into
just
place.
Calm down a bit. But he's very good at responding to the market, so I wouldn't be. And he's already done things like go off in terms of nuclear energy, lowering the cost. He's hired. across the board, he's just lowered the cost of his capex where possible, and on top of that, he has. So I think there'll be more of that tonight. He doesn't like to piss off the market, and he'll probably just massage it. And no doubt the cash machine that is their core business will be okay, being de-risked. So if I had to be long one, it would be Meta.
Okay. Would you?
Watch it go down 10%. Don't play earnings.
The thing is in earnings.
Why would you play earnings? What's the point? What is the point?
Because has it been de-risked?
That's not the question. That's not the question. Why would you pay any earnings? I've seen earnings smash it, and then they say one thing in the conference call, and stock then tanks. So you're literally gambling. Once the market is closed, you have no control over it. You can't stop it out. You can't hedge it. You can't do anything. You just have to sit there and wait till the next morning.
You can on
you obviously
IG 24-hour trading.
That's true. I mean, IG is just full of magic tricks. That's true. That is true. I suppose you can hedge to a degree, but if if you're subject to a massive profit warning and whatever stock it is that you bought is down 20%, you can't. It's too late to hedge once it's down 20%.
Meta reminds me of a great chart that always encapsulates the different feelings, the psychology of a market cycle. We talked about cycles earlier. Now, do me a favor, snapshot this, because next time you're feeling euphoric or in disbelief, then just get this chart up and remember exactly what it says here. So where are we in the market at the moment? I would argue we're somewhere around the thrill area, perhaps. In silver, we're at euphoria. And you can see what happens here. It's the feeling, I'm going to be rich. We're all going to be rich. I'm going to buy more on margin. And you can just see what happens next, right? You get a little bit of a pullback. How many times has this happened to you, Piers, that you get anxiety? Why am I getting margin calls? This dip will recover. And then it's coming back all the way to panic and anger. And then you sell it. And of course, it starts to rally as well. But many a time has that been the
correct
what we go through. Where are you at the moment?
I am in a very important conversation. So yeah, I mean, listen, market psychology is such a critical part of the game, right? I mean, it's as you just pointed out. One thing, the one bit of comfort that I take in moments of sheer panic and sheer euphoria is that and this is not a guess. This is not like 80% of the time, 100% of the time. The timing is difficult, but you know that when you get to a certain level of fear or greed, that situation is going to end up in the opposite place in the not too distant future. Now, listen, by definition, particularly in the greed department, these things can continue and continue and continue. Before and take everyone out with it and make everyone sort of have to stop themselves out and no one's solvent anymore. However, you can bet your bottom dollar that all these things that are absolutely being loved to the nth degree will calm down.
Yeah.
Some of them might reverse and you might get a narrative change. It's always hard to tell, but it will happen.
It's another.
That's why I don't chase them, because I just can't be that idiot who and if you trade technicals and charts and you don't care at all about thinking, and by the way, that is a strategy and lots of people do that, and actually, quite frankly, it's a strategy that works quite well. In fact, the more you think, actually, often in the modern day markets, the more it can hinder you. But you just have to also be aware of the fact that particularly if you've got a big position, that's why the real money, the professionals, they've got to put on billions of dollars worth of size. You can't get out of that really quickly, right? It's all well and good if you're punting around with a few grand, but if you're moving billions of dollars, you can't get in and out of that stuff really quickly, and that's why professionals have a tough job. Managing risk is not easy. The more money you've got, the harder it is, as you well know.
Definitely. Yeah, there we go. Harry saying, look, Netflix was de-risked before numbers, didn't help there. PayPal was de-risked, both got spanked on earnings. Not going to touch it. Not touching Meta before numbers tonight. Very wise, Harry, very wise.
Just to be clear, being de-risked doesn't mean that you can't go higher, lower. Just the way being de-risk to the upside, the inverse of that. I mean, look at ASML, right? You look at ASML's chart. Look at Micron. I mean, when Micron report, right? They're gonna let's assume for argument's sake that they go into it as hot as they are now. There's no rule book to it. They could beat and do what Seagate did today, but yeah, I just don't like playing earnings. Full stop.
Rocky asking, so Robinhood looks like it's at good levels, beat down for no clear reason.
Well, the very clear reason, crypto.
Yeah.
It's the #1 crypto proxy stock, that thing.
Surely Coinbase more.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Coinbase obviously was their bloody Coinbase. I'm talking about a company who don't sell themselves as a crypto platform.
Yeah.
Obviously, Coinbase. Yeah. Thank you, matey.
Right, let's see the reaction for that poll then. We've got 5 minutes left. We're going to have to find a trade for this. Wow. Is that right? 37% of you think above 7,200. Only 19% think sub. All right, so we're looking there for, it looks like we're talking between here and 7,030, right? That's our expected range, between here and 7,030. Let's look at what the option market would let us do in this situation. So here we go. We can, if we think it's going to be above 7,010 points, we pay 9 ticks for that, right? So it has to go up to 7,019 for us to break even. However, if we don't think it's going to go above 7,300, we can sell this one and take in 2 points. So it becomes 2 points cheaper here. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I am 411. No, I'm going to buy that one. So it's the 7,010. I am going to buy $25 a point for 8.88. Lucky for some. And then the 7,030s, I'm going to sell double the size of those, right? So this puts a bit more risk into it, because then you get short as you go through 7,030. So we're saying a little bit Goldilocks here. Back to Goldilocks again. You're going to go up through 7,010, but not higher than 7,042 is where we'd start losing money. All right, so let's do that. And then we'll see where that sits in the portfolio. We have paid 9 points for the 7,010 calls. We've sold 7,030 calls for 2 each. So you do 2 times 2, that's 4. 9 minus 4, we've paid 5 points. So we paid 5 points for it to finish around about the 730 mark. So that means we can make profit of 15 times 25. 15 times 25, Piers? About $400.
Yeah,
375.
Yeah, correct, Amundo.
So that's what we're hoping for tonight. If this index finishes at 7,030 tonight, we'll be very happy.
Indeed. So yeah, I mean, listen, we'll see what happens tonight. Tomorrow's going to be we will have more information to be able to go by.
Now next week, just a quick look ahead to next week, because that's the next time obviously we'll be on. People can
so
get you.
Tuesday, we're on Tuesday, right? So Tuesday we have Pfizer and AMD. It's a very strange earnings season. I've seen companies that never report together. Pfizer usually reports pre-market and a completely separate day. I would assume they still are pre-market, but they're on the same day as AMD, which I've never seen before. And then, of course, we have Amazon and we have Apple and Caterpillar alone on the same night. Never seen that before. Strange. Nonetheless, lots of important companies, again, next week. Apple are going to be interesting. Apple, I've got my eye on. I don't like it, but it's just got that old-fashioned feeling about it, where people have forgotten about it. It's grinding. It's defensive. It's God, I don't know. It's the opposite of this high beta nonsense I've been playing around in. So I'm quite keen to just own it. That's why I'm really excited. I've got UNH in my book right now. Just grinding. I mean, God knows what's going to happen to it in the next hour. But like, I'm just taking a step away from this
high beta
crazy stuff. It's just not good for the health, mate. Right?
So I'm seeing. Where do you think?
Did we buy UNH?
No.
Okay.
3-day rule.
3-day rule is correct, unless, of course,
It drops
price action, it drops that much and it's UNH and the price action is that good.
So what you're saying is the 3 days all compacted into what?
Let me just be clear for those who are watching this, because the 3-day rule is actually really interesting. It's something that, again, forgive me for those who've heard this story. When I first started out as a broker, one of the most successful, notorious, if you will, hedge fund managers was a client of mine, very, very smart guy. And he taught me lots of different things about this business. And just one of these things, this is not a rule you'll see anywhere else, it was just his rule. And I took it on board in 2012, and the amount of times that it's worked for me is uncanny. And of course there's nuance to it. I mean, listen, let's use UNH as an example. A massive, large cap, hugely cash generative business that used to be a stock market darling, finding it difficult due to regulatory problems, down 20% in a day. 3-day, yesterday, no bid at all, watching it very closely to see if there was a bid. Today, pre-market, no bid at all. So I thought we will do the 3 days. Then when I see the price action on the open, I thought I'm going to participate. I've only bought half a position, so I might buy the second half on day 3, but I want to participate. It's not a set in stone, and some days it's a 5-day rule, but in general, 3 days. I mean, Intel was the greatest example in recent history, right? Got lucky with the news, of course, but.
Good stuff. Right, that's almost us for today. Just to say a big thank you to you all in the comments. We've got George, Pauline, Steve, Natasha, Stu, Jugger, Rocky, David, Julian, of course, Monkey Man. As always, a massive shout out to you all. Thank you for being part of the community today. And fingers crossed we get through the Fed tonight. The dollar may be some kind of support.
Can I just say one final thing? And I hope you don't mind me just say, do you mind if I just do a small plug for my seminar? Is that okay?
You get your seminar.
I would love, and IG have been helping me out with some of the tech in the background, by the way. So on the 30th of May, we are, Apex are doing a seminar at just down near St. James. Which will be myself and 2 of my very senior colleagues, friends in the market, one of which is you, of course, talking about the market, meeting the community, and then there's a dinner afterwards. So those of you who want to come and meet the Apex community, or those who are in the Apex community, it's a great opportunity for us to just get together and learn about markets together. So.
And where can they see more of your beautiful face over the next few days?
So yeah, I mean, listen. Obviously, we have a Discord, Apex Trading, and the link is in my TikTok bio. It's also in the Instagram bio, or you can just go into the Apex Trading straight into the Discord.
And also on TalkTech.
Correct, Amunda. There he is.
Good stuff. Also add us on the Art of Investing TikTok as well. So _, the Art of Investing. You'll find us on TikTok. That is the behind the scenes of the UK's best financial podcast, officially voted 2025. That comes out on Friday about 4 p.m. But the TikTok behind the scenes is ongoing. And last of all, please give us a thumbs up on the YouTube right here so the bosses can see that they'll invite us back next week.
Thank you very much, all those who watched today. Apex, I love you. Gavo, what a hero.
And also thanks to producer Phil and Big Dom back from his holiday in Australia.
Tanning.
Good luck tonight. If you're playing the earnings, be careful. Keep the risk small and tight. Keep stops on. And come on, Jerome Powell. 2 fingers to Trump. Let's go. Peace.